Hello everyone, and my name is Today, and I'm back. Yeah, got a little sick. I had to change my kind of recording setup. All good pretty much now. And, you know, I actually am making this video because I got so, excited and so, attached to this new thing. And if you couldn't tell, this new thing was Final Fantasy. I had never played any Final Fantasies before, and I wasn't really knowing what to expect, And I love video games, but I'd never really touched it, It was just kind of like the game, When you hear Final Fantasy 13, it kind of pulled me away from the series, only because I was like, there's 13, I may not know the story, it's going to be too hard to get into.
The 13 days
But
after we awoke
that wasn't the case at all.
were the beginning of the end.
Actually, how I got into Final Fantasy is the pretty cool part. Is that I actually, was just gonna rent some games just to try them out, see if I liked them, maybe buy them later. And I just was like, okay, well, there's Final Fantasy 13 too, and I was like, you know what, I'll try it. And so I did, and immediately I fell in love with it. I mean, I really enjoyed playing it. And so the next day I went out and I bought Final Fantasy 13 and 13 too, and I'm definitely going to get Lightning Returns, and it gets me really excited for Final Fantasy 15, which hopefully comes out soon.
Best of luck.
But let's talk more about my kind of experience with Final Fantasy. And I can't say, oh, sorry about that, but I can't say how much,
She did it.
I'm not a big fan into it. I can say that. I'm not a die-hard fan. I'm kind of like the basic bitch of the series, where I just got into it, and I'm so excited for everything about it. The basic bitch. Okay.
You alright?
And so that's what led me in the series, and I love the characters because each character just feels really unique to me in 13, and I don't have. And, I can't say how good, 13 or 13 is according to the rest of the series because I haven't played any of the games. So, to me, 13 is, amazing. It's probably my favorite since it's the only one I played.
Good for them.
And the way, the cutscenes are, there's the action sequences, I really enjoy it. Even the combat system is I really like it. The story's really unique because I haven't really experienced something like this. One thing though is that checking up onto a very long game, I think 13 is kind of longer than 13-2, which I haven't played. I think the longest game I've ever played, I don't know. Alien Isolation was pretty long, but I don't know. This one is the longest by far though. Graphically too, it just looks amazing. I mean, for what this come out? This came out, it came out a while ago, and for it to just look this good, it's amazing. If it's pre-rendered, because I don't know, it just looks amazing to me. And, anybody who's watching this video who hasn't played Final Fantasy, please go play it. Was it, I think Final Fantasy 14 or Realm Reborn on PS4, and I think PC or the Xbox. It's kind of like an MMO. I don't really know too much about that. I'm downloading it on PS4 to really see it and check it out, which I will. But it's just, I wish I got into Final Fantasy sooner, because I feel like I've missed out on great opportunities to play some really amazing games. And, it gets me really excited for 15, which, let me just look it up here, which I think, if I remember correctly, 15 was originally supposed to be part of the 13, part of the 13 kind of franchise. But it became, it's its own game. The only other thing I kind of heard of that was when Saints Row was it 4 was supposed to be originally supposed to be DLC for Saints Row 3, but it then became into its standalone game. I'm not saying 15 and Saints Row 4 are like the exact same. What was I going to say? Like same circumstances, but I say they are kind of similar in the aspect that they were supposed to be part of a different, like a franchise. A franchise, or like, you know what I'm saying, like Final Fantasy 15 is supposed to be part of Final Fantasy 13, or like a game in that series, and Saints Row 4 was supposed to be DLC for Saints Row 3. But let's move on. Like, let's look here. I don't. You know, it just looks really good to me, really catching to the eye, Final Fantasy 13. But I'm like, so excited, and it's like, I love this game, and I'm so happy I got into it. And I'm telling you right now, I think I said this again, if you haven't ever played Final Fantasy, check it out, please. Do yourself a favor. You know, character-wise, you have Saj, I'm not going to pronounce that right. And you have Lightning, which I love both characters. And let's put it this way. Again, basic bitch, haven't beat the game yet. I'm probably 2 to 3 hours in the Final Fantasy 13-2, which played them out of order. But now I'm like 6 hours into this Final Fantasy 13. Which I'm playing the beginning, again, only because I think it would be easy just to talk over it. That's why I decided to play this. But yeah, you know, and I kind of want anybody who's watching this who's ever played Final Fantasy to give me, like, know who their favorite character is, or some, like, really, like, standout games in the series. Because I had always heard, like, Final Fantasy before, like, Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 10. But I never really like looked into it much. But yeah. So that kind of puts me in my next thing is, of course, Final Fantasy 15 is going to come out hopefully soon, and I don't know. I'm super excited for it, but at the same time, I'm also worried. Only that it might be like, I don't know, a different step, but I'm not like too worried where I'm not gonna like buy it. From what I've seen of Final Fantasy 15, it looks gorgeous. I mean, just super pretty and amazing. The combat looks amazing and fluid. I love the characters. I actually like most of the 15's characters, and I like the design and the look of them. You know, from what I've seen of the enemies in the game, they look good, and of course the story does. The one thing that kind of I don't necessarily get is kind of like the real, and if you can help me on the comments, the modern look of it. You know, because it has this like fantasy aspects of it with the beasts and the city and the ships, but also has a kind of modern era to it, in the cars, you know, the cities. Towns look like places you would see now.
Aren't you supposed to protect civilians?
So, you know, if you could help me out there, that would be great. But really, I just wanted to make this video just to like kind of share my excitement for Final Fantasy. I mean, I got into it, and you probably tell right now I'm a little sick.
Where do you think you're going?
But yeah, you know, let's cut this down. Future parts. Please play Final Fantasy if you haven't. Final Fantasy 15 looks amazing. Can't wait to get my hands on it. If you have any suggestions about another Final Fantasy game I should check out, please leave it in the comments. As always, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm getting a Twitch up, so that would be interesting. Also, you can add me as a friend on Xbox Live or PSN, just Cincy Day. And you probably saw I got an achievement there. I'm actually playing this on a different account, that's why I started over. But yeah, that's pretty much what the video is going to be about anyway. I'll see you guys next time. Let's see, the next video I'm going to make is, it's going to be me talking about Uncharted and Tomb Raider, you know, both series that I love. both series that I love. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.